Independence Week fireworks, and more. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, July the 7th. You know, we had one heck of a week last week. We had new highs. We had all kinds of stories and everything going on. And markets were a little bit active for what should have been a holiday week. You had a jobs number that came out on Friday. And, of course, as is expected, you had a number that was really hot to force everybody to make a decision again on whether or not the Fed is not going to cut interest rates, which is about one of the most ridiculous things we can worry about because, again, of course, the Fed itself should be ended, number one. But number two, if they're not going to be ended, let the markets decide, not them. I find it funny that we continue to argue about this interest rate model and what they're trying to accomplish. And when they continue to tell me that we have no inflation, okay, again, I keep looking at my monthly bills and my weekly bills and they keep going up. I don't know. I know there's maybe there's no inflation in big scale, but you know, it seems to me that my expenses keep going higher. Okay, so to me, that means that I'm paying more. All right. So, but again, we've got a Fed that is totally laughable. What's even more laughable is Christine Lagarde, who's going to now be the head of the ECB. Okay, you know, she already destroyed the IMF. Okay, the International Monetary Fund, and now she's going to be in charge of the ECB. Can you imagine what this is going to be like? But this is almost the plan. Okay, to destroy the currency, to make this for the upper less than 1%. Okay, that's what this is about. This is how it's worked. And if you again, I like to refer back to the Creature from Jekyll Island. If you go back and read that or look at it and see some of the ideas, it's happening right in front of you. It's not an issue. Okay. We continue to see the destruction of our currency. We continue to see multi-manipulation, okay? Which again, the one thing I will say for sure is that the average gal on the street, they want to borrow money today. They're not getting money at 3.5 or 3.75%, okay? So what good does it do the average guy? The low, ridiculous interest rates only benefit the big corps that want to buy back their stock, because the simple model is this, okay? If you're paying a 3 or a 4% dividend, okay, and you can now borrow money at 3 or 4%, okay, then why not borrow the money, pay yourself back, and buy back the stock? You know, again, maybe that's just too simple. Maybe I'm just too much of a simpleton, okay? But to me, it doesn't seem like the average guy and gal are benefiting from what the Federal Reserve is doing, other than our IRAs, where the stock market is going higher. But of course, we all know that stock markets, with or without the Fed, have gone up an average of 8.5% year over year. So what do we need the interference of the Federal Reserve for? Okay, what purpose do they really serve, except to allow the banking system to get bigger, okay, and destroy the smaller banks and destroy regional banking and banking relationships for the average farmer, the average small business, because we have all been forced into having to deal with the big guys. Okay, so again, take it for what it's worth. But of course, I think that's why you have seen some traction in the cryptocurrency world the last couple of weeks. Okay, I mean, look, we've said this for quite a while, that we believe the crypto space is real. We believe that at some point it is already being used in some countries as almost the currency for the country. But we do believe that it's going to succeed. And I think that it may indeed be the final nail that can really end the Fed. But of course, you've got, if you've been following, you've got Facebook with their, I think, Libra coin that is drawing a lot of attention, especially from the ECB, and getting warnings now, okay? Because the Facebook cryptocurrency doesn't appear to be what the real spirit of cryptocurrency is. The real spirit is to eliminate the Fed, eliminate central banking, eliminate the ability to manipulate by the stroke of a pen, okay? By saying that we want to cut rates. That's what the cryptocurrency world, again, there's always going to be those out there that say no, no, no. But of course, you had Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan call it garbage, and they're involved. You had Goldman Sachs, garbage, they're involved. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the other big names that are calling it garbage are not at somewhat involved. Okay, so we can continue to listen to the pundits and everybody rag on it and tell you how bad it is, and it may be a bubble. Again, I'm not telling you to go out and spend all your money. I'm saying that if you want to gamble a little bit, this is probably a space to gamble in. Okay, and of course, we've seen, a lot of things happening, okay, that tell you that we need to free up the system. We need to free up the cash system and get away from where the Fed and the central banks have so much control and power over money. Because again, at the end of the day, okay, all they're doing is printing away what you're holding in your pocket. And I think, again, I look at that to be a problem, okay? Now you've got, I think one of the new appointees for the Fed, Judy Shelton, okay, 0% interest rates. Again, I understand where President Trump is coming from. He is no different than any other president in history who has had his battles with the Federal Reserve, okay? However, okay, again, are we really set just to go to zero forever? Okay, to me, this is not the model. This is not free markets. This is a manipulative system. Okay, when you start to worry about rates and the effect on the stock market, and again, I think that is indeed another problem. Now, she did mention or is a fan of going back to the gold standard. Okay, now again, that would be great, because then you wouldn't have the total manipulation of the fiat currency, okay? So I don't have a problem with that as having something that backs a currency, that determines what the value is. That will never happen, because it would take away a lot of power from those who have it. But again, I don't see, to me, that wouldn't be, that would not be a big bad problem. I could live with that. I thought it was a problem when they went off it in the first place. And of course, we've got our great economists who couldn't find their ass with their elbow. I mean, that they all to the numbers. Well, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. We're going into a recession. Okay, you can see it. You can feel it. You can see things that are starting to happen in these markets right now. Okay, not just in the markets, in the general economy. Okay, you can see some change. You can see some things that have become a part of it that tell you that things are slowing down. Okay, now again, it's not a bad thing. The bad thing is when somebody tries to stop it with a stopgap measure that doesn't allow it to let it play out. If we would just let markets and economies play out, okay, I would think we would be in a hell of a lot better shape, okay, and we would have recoveries that were actually stronger and real over time, instead of the usual, okay, where we're continuing to try to fight it with all these policies, okay, and I think that becomes one of the bigger problems. Okay, so as we ended the July 4th week, again, obviously a great celebration, and as I always say, thank you to our our veterans, their families, first responders, fire, police, everybody who's obviously responsible for allowing me to get out here and mouth off like I do. Okay. But a lot of things are negative. And I think when you look at the way that we used to celebrate Independence Day to how we celebrate it now, I think that's a problem. And again, it shows the overall divide, and it's something that we mentioned last week. Okay, are we Republicans? Are we Democrats? Are we Libertarians? Are we whatever? Or are we first Americans? Okay, and I think that's somewhere along the line we lost the message that we are or should be Americans first. Okay, and defending our country first, then on either side of the political aisle. Okay, so again, we should be Americans first and forget about the political aisle. But of course, each side has got their own battle going right now. So again, it should be Americans first and screw the rest. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. We're going to stop out here for a break, and we'll be back with more of Bubba's Bottom Line after the break. What's up, all? Hope you had a great July 4th. Hope you had a great holiday. And of course, I want to remind you that if you'd like to get a hold of our webinars on our equity portfolio management or our futures portfolio management, please email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. I'll be happy to send them out to you. Okay. And of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horwitz. Welcome back to Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horwitz here on Sunday, July the 7th. And again, markets last week, new highs. New highs are coming, tra-la-tra. And it's not a surprise. We have said, and we have remained long, as we've told you. Okay. Again, I may not like it. I may not think it's got a lot of legs to go, but certainly not going to fight the algorithm that told me to get long in the first place. Again, to me, that defeats the logic of having a method to trade with. In the meantime, new highs in the Dow, new highs in the S&P, new highs in the NASDAQ, no new highs in the Russell. Not a total surprise. Again, now will the Russell catch up or will the others start to fall? Look, it's very simple, okay? And I say this on air almost on a regular basis, okay? The markets will go up until they stop going up, okay? I don't know where the top is, but certainly I wouldn't be saying to you, it's time to short the market right now, okay? I have no basis. There's no reason to say sell rallies. Right now, you're either long, looking for a pullback to get long, or you are out, okay? If you're short, you're losing, and you're being ridiculous trying to get short into a market that just wants to go up and up and up, okay? So again, I'm not saying it can't go down, but remember, when the sell-off comes, when the longer-term trend changes, it's not going down in one day. Okay, this is not going to be a 1987. There's not going to be any of that. So you will not miss it if you are patient enough to wait for it. But of course, that is one of the keys we talk about a lot and a lot of the things we do, and that's the emotions of trading, the mental mindset of trading, and being prepared, okay? So in the meantime, gold had a couple of big spikes up before getting clobbered a little bit towards the end of the week. But it did close over 1,400. It did hold that 1,380 level we're talking about. It certainly looks clear that 1,500 is probably in the cards. And I did mention something about a double top the other day, and one of the articles I wrote for Kitco, and somebody wrote me and said, well, but double tops are bearish. And I said, yeah, except double tops work best if you're using the double top as a double top. Double tops work best in a market that is downtrending. Okay, double bottoms work best in a market that is uptrending. I was just pointing out that it wasn't a surprise that the market paused there and did pull back, but it did pull back to a higher low and now looks poised to move higher once again. Oil had a pretty rough week last week. Again, I don't see where oil is going anywhere now. Unfortunately, I'm long oil, okay, or we're long oil. Again, I don't like it, and I certainly wasn't thrilled when I got hammered. But at the end of the day, I mean, I can't. Again, I'm not going to fight what's in front of me, okay. And one thing I want to remind you, on any product, you have plenty of time to get to the right side of the market, as long as you're not fighting on the wrong side of the market. But again, it looks to me oil is probably stuck right now between 55 and 60. A little bit of churning action. Certainly, fundamentally, the numbers should break to the downside. But you've got those who continue to try to push the upside. In the meantime, that's why you've got congestion. You've got this tug of war going back. And as we look at the dollar, the dollar, we were all bullish the dollar, looking for it to go to par. Okay, we started buying dollars at 88 cents approximately, and they got up a little bit over 98. And we thought they were going to par, which is $1. In the meantime, suddenly they stopped going higher, and now they're back around 96. Look, they've actually broken down. I think that over time the dollar will have another rally, but I think here you're probably looking at, with what the Fed and everybody else wants to do, okay, because you're seeing the constant battle, to reduce the dollar value. China reduces their yuan because they want to somehow absolve the tariffs that are in place. So if they make a cheaper yuan, dollar buys more, it covers the tariffs. The ECB, the euro currency, they want to be lower. Okay, so everybody's trying to do the same thing. So basically, it's the currency war race to the bottom of the market. Okay, it's just stupid. Okay, again, whatever happened to the free market? Let the free market decide. Okay, that's the way I look at it. But again, what can I say? All right, so and bonds. Okay, we got 10 years got under 2% at the end of the week. Okay, and you saw they spiked higher on Friday after the jobs number. Okay, again, jobs number was a little too hot. People got worried. Well, maybe the Fed will not cut rates. Okay, like we need a rate cut, but that's the underlying theory. And a move like this is maybe the Fed won't cut rates. Okay, because the economy is so strong. Okay, which is why you saw Friday an overall sell-off. Now, I put a question in my chat room on Friday morning when the market was down about 200. I said, how many of you here think that the market's got a chance to rally today? And very few did, but of course I said more than likely it will make at least a run at break even and possibly go positive on the day. Okay, and it's not because I know more than anybody. It's because, again, when you watch something go straight up or straight down, typically you're going to get some sort of reversal, even if it's for a short period of time. Okay, so that's what you're looking at when you look at the market. And I think the other thing is you would then realize that, the hot number was hot, but at the end of the day, they're more than likely, and the bond markets are pricing in a cut. So we'll see how that trades and plays out. Grains had a rough week, but not the end. Soybeans had a little bit of a rougher week in wheat, but again, wasn't the worst. I mean, again, we were looking and wrote about that we expected a little bit of a pullback. Okay, so again, I think you have to remember when you do things, you want to see markets react in a certain way. And as long as a market can keep a trajectory, it doesn't matter what market it is, if it's going up, as long as it can maintain that upward bias, you would like to see pullbacks, because what that really does is that brings in new money buyers that are looking to buy the dip, okay, to push it up the next time. So again, you should never be concerned until a market breaks down. Okay, a perfect example of a market that may be breaking right down right now is the dollar. So if you look at that chart, you'll see a potential market that's starting to break down. So the grains, a little bit of a rough week. Okay, but again, they've had a couple of nice little rallies. So, and I think one of the big interesting stories last week was, if you remember, we came in last Monday and, Trump and Xi had this handshake and said, we're good. Markets spiked a little bit higher in the morning. The grains never moved. That's a warning sign, okay? The grains never moved. They never bought into that there was a deal in place, okay? So that was something that I found very interesting about the action. And that's why we don't play the news, okay? We play the chart. We don't care about the news. The news is ridiculous, trying to outsmart and outguess people that are paying millions and billions of dollars to get this information ahead of you, okay? But that was something that should have set off a warning sign right away when the grains didn't react. In the meantime, meats, hogs ran to 80. We thought they'd sell there, and bang, down they came, okay? Fat cattle or live cattle is breaking out now. It finally broke above that consolidation level. Now, again, you probably should see a little bit of a pullback, and feeders held. So, again, as we've been saying, we're very bullish the cattle space. Okay, look, we're basically bullish ag in general. And it's not that we think hogs are going to zero. We just think they have some room to work on the downside. But basically, we're holding and long grains and cattle. Okay, and not afraid to buy more on pullbacks as long as the patterns hold, okay? And, as we look, at the prognosis of what's going forward, it's very quiet. So we could see more action. I wouldn't be surprised to see markets work continued higher, okay? I mean, again, I'm not a big fan. I would certainly be looking for a spot to sell the market, but it's hard to want to get in the way, okay? Of a market that continues to move higher. Now, there's a big question out there. We've seen a collapse in natural gas, okay? Because, we had that huge rally. If you remember, natural gas got almost to $5 last year. We all seem to forget why it got there, okay? It got there because, of course, the refiners made the same mistake as always, and they burned off too much, and then they needed some because we had a cold snap. But the other reason natural gas got so expensive was more of a trading problem and not a supply-demand problem, not any other problem. Okay, that is when the optionsellers.com business went busto because they were short everything, and because of the little panic, they got the shorts got squeezed to death, and the markets went straight up for about a week and a half, and then fell straight back down again. Don't confuse facts with fiction, and actually a trading problem with an actual market problem. Okay, I mean, I think that is what you're really looking for is where the real problems can potentially come in. Okay, so when we look at the whole system, okay, markets look like it can continue. Again, I see no reason to get involved. I mean, I see no reason to say that they can't continue. Okay, again, I do think we're in a recession, or in the very start of a recession. But what I think and what I'm going to trade today had nothing to do with each other, because at the end of the day, we're going to trade the charts, we're going to trade our algorithm, and we're going to stay with whatever those things tell us to do, no matter what I think about the general economy. Okay, so again, I see potential problems out there that are starting to percolate, but we're not going to fight it. We're not going to get in the way of it, and we're going to take a break here and come back with my commentary on Bubba's Bottom Line on Sunday, July the 7th. We'll be right back with more. What's up, all? I hope you had a great July 4th and enjoyed it. And I want to remind you about our webinars. If you'd like to check them out, you can get my hedging, you can get the hedging too, but you can get the futures or equity portfolio management webinars. They're free. Just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. I'll be happy to send them out to you. And of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. And now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and my commentary for this Sunday, July the 7th. Welcome back, everybody. As you know, each and every week I give you my commentary, and of course always strikes some controversy because there's always some, whatever that goes out there. But again, you see the flag behind me, the Betsy Ross flag, and of course, no bigger controversy than that happened this week with Nike, okay, and the removal of a shoe, which was in commemorative of the original 13 colonies, and of course, the Nike spokesman, the kneeler, the one who will not stand up for the national anthem, said, no, it's not good. And I go, so they're going to pull the line. And of course, Nike stock rallied. But again, you have to remember who Nike's customer is versus the rest of us. Me, I would never buy another Nike product in my life. Okay, again, that's just me. Again, I think we have to remember where this country came from. Again, I can't, nothing is perfect. Nobody has been treated perfectly from day one. Okay, but I think we continue to improve upon that. Okay, and I think we continue to show independence. Okay, and I think that too many people are looking for too many troubles to have too much adversity and to create these problems. Now, I would not be surprised if this was just a publicity stunt for Nike, that they didn't even put together a full line. But I don't know that. I'm just saying. Okay, but I do want to give a shout out to 9-line apparel and out of line shoes. They both put out products to commemorate. Again, we should be celebrating America, and I think we should be celebrating some of our progress. Okay, again, it's not perfect. Okay, nobody said that it's perfect, but you certainly have imperfect stuff happening when you have an AOC going down to the border and making up lies. Okay, you certainly have an imperfect system. Okay, when you've got people that would rather be divisive and criticize a speech that was very American, not political, versus celebrate the country. Okay, and I think that is an issue that we're continuing to move our way into, is to understand and recognize where we are in America. And finally, just a little extra commentary. I don't know if you have followed the NBA and the big battle between the owners being called governors instead of owners. Okay, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but me personally, the person owns the team. Okay, they are the owner. These NBA players are getting paid $30, $40, $50 million a year. Okay, and they're upset by the fact that they work for the owners. Don't businesses have owners? Okay, isn't there owners and employees? Are the players not employees? Okay, they are not enslaved. They don't have to go play if they don't want. They go somewhere else. Okay, so when did we become where this became where one word, governors versus owners? They're owners. They own the team. Okay, they're paying. LeBron James is going to make over $1 billion. Okay, when did it become such a big thing, whether or not they're owners or not owners? They own the team, and that's the way it is. And I think that we've got to a point of ridiculousness with some of the issues that we take issue with, instead of taking care of some of the more important things out there. And that's the bigger problem. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd, Bubba Horwitz. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great week. We will see you tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you later.